going to say this straight to Phil Hogan, the European Commissioner for Trade for Ireland. He's gone off the process now. He's gone winning. So yeah, it keeps getting better and better. This golf gate. It goes all the way to the top. Next thing we hear, there'll be strippers at it. I wouldn't be surprised. That might be the next thing we hear. But apparently, Phil Hogan, European Commissioner, very high, and he wouldn't apologise. He said he was at the event, but he wouldn't apologise first. Now he's apologised, and he's like, I won't step down no matter what. And then he was you want to hear the best part? He went through a county which is in lockdown. There's 3 counties in Ireland at the moment in time in lockdown. And that's Laois, Kildare and Offaly. And he went through Kildare. He stopped in Kildare. He was stopped by a gal. This is the best part. He was stopped by a gal because he was on his phone. That's supposed to be a penalty point, I think, or a fine. It depends on what it is. I'm not too familiar with that section of the law. Like, you see people all the time on the phones. But anyway, he was stopped by a gal. Do you think the gal would have said, where are you going? Where are you going? I'm going to a golf event. I'm going to a golf site. Like, I say the gal I say Phil Hogan probably said to the gal, I can lose your job if you say anything about this. And if I was the gal, I would have took him out of the car and put him into the sky car and I wouldn't care if I lost my job because, it's one rule for everybody. I wouldn't mind if somebody was, like, he did stop off in Kildare, and he was stopped by the gal, like, he should have got something, so he basically broke the law by using his phone while driving. And it gets worse. It just gets, like, he has no excuse now not to just resign. He get a big pension. He gets 107, something like that, 170,000. I don't know. I'm not familiar with his salary, but it's a big salary anyway. Imagine the pension. Imagine the amount of money he's going to get in the pension. Don't worry about that. He'd be set. He'd be set for life. If he resigns now, he just lose out a bit of money. But don't worry, the envelopes make up for it. Phil Hogan, your envelopes. Don't worry about your envelopes. You're afraid to get your envelopes. You're afraid to lose your envelopes, so you're afraid to lose a few more. So you get an extra. He gets extra envelopes when he's in office, but when he gets out of office, he only get a few. So he would miss that, and along with his big salary and everything. He should be kicked out. If this was a good country, and we had a good president, we have a good Taoiseach, and they had a bit of balls on them. And this, I would say, back off. Go back to buses and stay on buses we don't watch in this country. It's just a big slap in the face. It's a big slap enough in the face for people in lockdown at the moment in time in Kildare, not Laois and Offaly. They could go outside their county. And then this bollocks, comes along, walks, on his phone, walks out of Kildare, walks through Kildare. Probably stopped off in Kildare, which he's not really allowed unless he's refueling and everything like that. But God knows what he was up to. Probably getting a few envelopes, but anyway. And this is the crack we have in this country. And I all went off to a golfing society for next thing, I bet you anybody it'd be strippers next. There'd be 6 or 7 strippers probably there the other day giving them lap dances. It's not, the thing of how do they know or not think anybody would have found out about this? It was bad enough they dug themselves a hole 81 there, a minister, a judge, the Supreme Court judge, the former Attorney General, tons of senators, some TDs, ex-OT beset the Sean O'Rourke. They think the Irish people cannot see them doing this. And again, this is, if people now to just say, it's, good on him, he got offered. You know what I say to the Taoiseach if he has any, but anyway, I don't think me whole Martin. I think the only thing about me whole Martin, he was the newspaper said he was waging about it. He would be waging it because everybody's giving that back about it. And they're entitled to. And then this happens. He should have got a penalty point or something like that. But apparently, I say, he probably said to the gal not to say anything. But yeah, he went through a lockdown county. And he was stopped by the gals. Where was, what else they have to been doing that we don't know about? What else kind of shenanigans, yeah. Because what else would there be, Clown World, it's Clown World. What else have to, during the lockdown when everybody was probably dying in this country, the height of the pandemic, they probably were out in the middle of the Bahamas. That's probably the fucking crack we have in this country, because they seem to, senators and TDs and everything seem to just, they hate to see advise people not, and the Department of Foreign Affairs advise people not to make unnecessary travels. will go on holiday and everything. And no, tons of Irish people cancel the holiday. And we have a Monaghan County Council who fucked off to Spain. We have tons of TDs that fecked off here, there and everywhere. And they did what they pleased and nobody stopped them. And when people had to cancel the holidays, only people, these hierarchy gets probably a first class ticket on a private jet. When you know it's a government jet. But and then the Fortune Ireland fell away to Italy. It's just that if there was no one, the Irish supposed to be shot dead. And I guess Phil Hogan didn't isolate too. So where was the what kind of a Mickey Mouse country do we live in? Because it seems like he's breaking all the laws, and he seems like he's just getting a pat in the back and saying, "Oh, be a good boy, you're a good boy," and then he's patting Leo in the back and Simon saying, "Oh, I get off with this. Don't worry about that, lads. You get a big check in the post." This is the country. Like if this goes unchallenged, then we basically have to say, there's something very, very up with this government. But anyway, there's always been something up with this government, so we know that for a fact. A Supreme Court judge, as we were saying yesterday, a Supreme Court judge, the judges with the politicians, it looks bad, and all people said that's supposed to be questioning what the government are doing, but apparently he's in with them. He's in having drinks with them and sitting down beside them and everything. And that's not, if I was a journalist, your job's not to hang out with politicians and, lick up to them. Your job is to find out the truth and put politicians to the limit. In this country, there's barely any media that can do that, put politicians under pressure. We meet, Fitz and Brown. I wish Fitz and Brown would get a comeback, because Fitz and Brown would drive anybody up the bend. He drew so many people. I remember there was somebody from Labour on Fitz and Brown one time. He made them walk off. Because he gave them that such of a doing. But then Bertie O'Howan, he gave Bertie O'Howan a hard questions once before, and then a European Commissioner too before he gave them hard questions too. But yeah, OT probably busted didn't want to say about Phil Hogan. But anyway, take care everybody, and let me know what you take, because it's clown mode. It's clown mode. What next? As I was saying about strippers, that's probably what's next. It's gonna be the front page tomorrow. And then he wouldn't apologise. He only apologises now. He didn't apologise. He said he was at the offence. So it just goes to show you he didn't give a fuck. And he doesn't deserve to get a paycheck. He doesn't deserve to stay in this country. But thankfully he's over buses, so they could deal with him over there. And he can stay over there. If I was the person, I'd let it say it. Stay over there. Don't come back to this country. If you're not going to listen, if you're not going to abide by the rules of this country, then stay over in buses. Because obviously he's shown he has no respect for anybody in this country, and he has no respect for anybody in this country. The only people he threw everybody under the bus but himself. He blames everybody else, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry for going to this." Nobody forced him. He could decide himself. And then he didn't apologise straight. He's only apologising now. At least the Minister for Agriculture apologised straight away. At least he had the decency to that, but it still didn't help him. It shouldn't help Phil Logan. But anyway, thank you for watching. This is Clown Mode.